and your bows.
All right, welcome to episode 2 of What's Phantom in Japan.
What is Phantom in Japan?
I don't know. What is Phantom in Japan? Phantom, you should know.
That's the question of the hour, of the month, of the day, of the year, of the second, of the minute, brother. Who knows?
So this is the second show. The
Crazy.
first show, a lot of people liked it. I got a lot of responses on Twitter. I saw you beefed up your Twitter profile. It's all like nice now. You got pictures and everything.
Yeah, for my 10 followers.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get you more followers after this show. Follow the Green Phantom at the Green Phantom. It's very easy.
Green Phantom 514.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what it is.
Sorry.
You're the worst.
First botch of the podcast. So we're here to talk about Japanese wrestling.
That was some good matches we saw, brother.
Mm-hmm. New Japan Wrestling did their whole road to Dontaku, Honi, Kuni. They did a whole series of events throughout the month of April. And it was kind of hard to cover one event at a time because there'd be one big match, and all the other matches were like 6-man tags or 10-man tags. And things would happen, but not like nothing really noteworthy. So we decided to kind of wrap it up, just cover the big matches, the important matches that happened throughout like a 2-week span where I was watching a lot of New Japan.
For me, the highlight was Chris Jericho saying, "Fuck you, you fuck! You piece of shit! Fuck you, you fuck!" I love that.
It was pretty good, right?
It was great. It looked a bit weird with his black lipstick, but, you know.
Yeah, people were wondering why he was doing that. But I think he was doing that because when he was first, like before he attacked Naito, he was wearing a mask.
He was in a costume, yeah, that's it.
So I think he wanted to make it look underneath like he was in the mask. You know, you've worn a mask before.
Yeah, but I don't usually wear lipstick, I have to say.
Yeah, but I think he was trying to look like Bushi, who does have the kind of makeup underneath the mask.
It's good to hear Jericho swear, though. I mean, you don't get that in North America. So.
Yeah, it's not the same Chris Jericho in Japan as he is in WWE, right? It's a totally different guy.
Yeah. Speaking of different guys in WWE and Japan, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
He got back on his winning ways there. He had a really, really good match as well.
Yeah, he had a good match with Kota Ibushi.
Yeah.
It's hard to have a bad match with Kota Ibushi, though.
Yeah.
That guy's pretty damn athletic.
And very good looking as well.
Yeah, right.
That's probably the best looking match. Those two guys are some good looking dudes.
Man, there's a lot of handsome folk in New Japan. You know, Tanahashi's a real handsome guy. You know, but Kota Ibushi's like on another level for like handsome Japanese fellows.
You ever see the kissing duel he had? Who was it with? I forgot who it was. You know how in wrestling they have like forearm or chop duels. He had a kissing duel once.
Ibushi did?
Yeah, they were kissing each other back and forth. It was hilarious. YouTube that shit.
All right, I'll check that out. I haven't seen that. Yeah, but I want to stick with Jericho for a second because his attack on Naito was so violent. He really hurt Naito. He made him bleed.
He really hurt him, eh?
Well, I mean, it's got to hurt when you're bleeding, no?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it can.
Does it not hurt when you're bleeding?
It depends.
Okay. Well, I don't know. He beat up Naito. Okay, it was a good beating. It was a good, solid beating that he gave Naito.
Yeah.
And then the promo afterwards, where he's swearing and going crazy and everything. The performance from Jericho when he showed up at Dontaku was really solid. And now we're setting up a match with Naito at Dominion in June. So Jericho is going to go back. He's going to Osaka. He's going to wrestle Naito one-on-one. And I think it's going to be for Naito's newly won Intercontinental Championship that he won from Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah.
Which was another incredible match.
Incredible match.
I don't know about you, but we saw some good matches. I thought Ospreay and Kushida had a killer match. But my favorite match was Suzuki and Naito. I thought they had the best match of the whole tour.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I don't know, it's hard to say best match, but it was very good. And to see a guy who looks so freaking tough, like Suzuki, get beat, it was a very intense match. And you saw how they sold it at the end. They were both down for like 10 minutes after,
Yeah.
with the ice packs on and stuff. these Japanese touches were awesome.
Yeah, and that's something you see a lot in Japan, where like after a really intense match, they'll just kind of lay there in the ring, both of them, and they'll have young boys kind of put ice packs on them and revive them, which is something you never see in North America, which you maybe should once in a while after a really intense match. It seems like no matter how intense the match, whoever wins is able to get up and do a pretty energetic celebration afterwards.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really make a lot of sense. If you're going through a knockdown, drag-out fight, chances are you're not going to be able to do a backflip afterwards, unless you're George St. Pierre.
Yeah, that's it. In Japan, they have these extra steps that they often do to add to the realism, right? And it really, with the ice packs, everyone coming to the ring and helping the guys out and stuff. It's I like that the realism that they bring,
Yeah. Speaking of realism, you've just put on the screen for us the YouTube clip of Ibushi's kissing contest against another wrestler. It is two dudes kissing each other in the ring.
It's pretty intense.
And one dude just kissed Ibushi so passionately that Ibushi kind of like fainted and sold it like a punch, and now he's clutching the back of his head for some reason.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
Oh, that was weird. Ibushi, there's a homosexual element to Kota Ibushi and the Golden Lovers, right? It's two guys coming out calling themselves the Golden Lovers. There's that element to it, but it's not like a gay panic character, like Goldust in the early days. It's just like, yeah, maybe I do like dudes as well. So what? I'm still an awesome wrestler.
Yeah, I mean, wrestling always has that homoerotic thing going for it. It is half-naked, buff men, usually oiled up, rolling around, getting really close.
And a good percentage of why somebody is successful is based on their appearance,
their
just
looks.
How they look.
Yeah.
And usually it's other men, supposedly heterosexual men, judging the men based on their look, which is weird. Right? It's a bit weird.
Well, I mean, it's the way of the world, brother. I mean, people see first,
Right?
And so that's what you get. And wrestling being a show, I mean, that's what it is. It's a visual show, to make every element successful. It has to look good,
Yeah, but I'm talking about more the emphasis on looking handsome rather than looking like. The WWE, for example, they put more emphasis on like a Roman Reigns, who's like a handsome dude, than on like a Braun Strowman character, even though he's got a big push and he's a big player in the company. But like that guy, Braun Strowman, looks the part for me. Like he's super monstrous.
Massive, yeah,
he's huge. Monster. He's muscular. He looks like a wrestler. Roman Reigns, like, yeah, okay, he's big and muscular as well. But most of the reason why he's getting the push that he's getting is because they think he's handsome, which that part of it to me, like Randy Orton, like I don't get it. It's not for me, but women like him. I know people that follow me on Twitter at Dave Simon MMA. They like Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I mean, but that's show business, man. I mean, there's a reason why most actors and actresses are good looking. People want to see good looking things,
But what I like about Ibushi is that. So handsome, yet he's not there because he's handsome. He's there because he's a kick-ass wrestler.
Yeah, he's really good. He can. I remember I first got exposed to him years ago when he was wrestling Jericho.
Where was that?
Chikara, and I think they did a couple of things in Japan as well.
In DDT, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I think so. But they had some amazing sequences. I mean, him and Jericho, and Ibushi, it's crazy. He's just gotten better shape. He's just like thickened up. He's
wide too. Big wide shoulders on the guy.
Big, strong, and super athletic. If you guys out there aren't familiar with Ibushi, check him out. YouTube it.
Yeah, or just watch him on New Japan. Go to New Japan World and watch Kota Ibushi and the Golden Lovers and everything that they're doing. And that whole thing is real interesting. The Bullet Club and the Young Bucks and everything that they're doing. I thought Ibushi and Cody had a good match. I was a little bit surprised to see Cody win that match, and then Cody hitting like a new finisher on Ibushi there at the end. It was a cool finish. It's not something you'll be able to do in the WWE. You know, it's a very like indie type finish where he's kind of dropping him on his neck.
Yeah. Oh, the cop killer. I just remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know what he calls it, but I call it the cop killer.
Oh, it's Homicide's move, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Actually, I took that move a couple of years ago from Viking, and I honestly I still feel it to this day. Like it really, but Cody did it in such a way that he was very safe in the sense that when he collapsed, it was on his back and not necessarily on his head. Because I've seen that move. Have you seen Homicide do it? It's really vicious.
I think
really
people call it the vertebreaker too.
The vertebreaker has been called out too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's sick.
Who did that? Hurricane used to do that? Didn't Hurricane used to do that in the WWE?
Yeah, he did.
But kind of
again, softer. And usually the way I've seen it done a couple of ways. So the way Cody. All right. So the way Cody does the vertebreaker, he lands where the guy is mostly still on his back.
Yeah.
Whereas where Shane Helms did it, the guy lands on his knees. He flips him all the way over. And the way Homicide did it, he does somewhere in between, which basically makes you land on your head. You know, so
yeah.
Cody was very nice.
Yeah, he was safer with it.
Yeah.
But he's gonna have to be if he's gonna want to pull that move off consistently, right?
Yeah.
And it's not really clear where Cody's going right now. Like Kenny Omega had that match with Hangman Page, a great match. I thought Kenny was going down a road with Ibushi in a tag team kind of role. But right now, when we're looking at the next pay-per-view, the next big show for New Japan Dominion, it's going to be headlined by Kenny Omega against Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight title. And right now, in their series of matches, they're even. There was one draw, there was one win for Kenny, and one loss for Kenny. So they're even, and this is kind of the tiebreaker match. Okada breaking a record with his 12th title defense over Tanahashi, and now Okada trying to make sure that he's the man, looked at as a top guy, the ace of New Japan. But the only guy that's really giving him a run for his money right now is Kenny Omega, who is a great wrestler and a top star in the company. What did you think of that match, first of all, with Hangman Page?
I thought it was awesome. I mean, Kenny is their star. Like you said, the face star would be Omega, and the heel star would be Okada. You know, and I don't know. Hangman Page looks so familiar to me. I can't place him, but
you probably wrestled him.
I don't know. He just looks so familiar to me, and he's surprising. Like to see a guy that size, he moves very well. Like he did a moonsault off the top rope to the outside, and normally a 240-pound man, you don't really see that, you know, especially if it's a one-on-one, you know. It's a lot. It's a lot for the guy catching him to absorb. But no, it was good. He
really he's been stepping up lately. He had a match with Jay White recently that was amazing. This match with Kenny Omega was really good, and I feel like Hangman Page is going to be a guy in 6 months, a year from now, that everybody's going to be talking about him because he's unusual. You know, he's so big, yet he really pulls off some moves that you wouldn't expect. And he's a guy, he's putting his body on the line like crazy lately. Like he's going for it. He knows the spotlight's on him. This is his opportunity, and he is putting everything out there to try and make a name for himself. It's working.
Yeah, I see a future for him. He's the next big Gaijin, as they call the Americans out in Japan. I think he's the next one. You know, he's the total package. You know, he really has everything.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch. It's funny you mentioned package because that's part of his gimmick is package. Did you know that? Did you know part of that? He's got a whole thing with Joey Ryan going on.
Oh, does he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Didn't a friend of yours have a deal with Joey Ryan recently?
Oh yeah, Sexy Eddie, the Sex Express, everyone's sexual fantasy, Sexy Eddie. He actually got ripped off by Joey Ryan, unfortunately. I mean, but that's, you know,
kind of right.
Flattery is
Joey Ryan doing the Sexy Eddie gimmick?
Well, he does this thing where where an opponent grabs his cock, and then his cock overpowers them.
Yeah,
right? So it's like a cock lock.
That's right.
And like this was Eddie's thing for years, and then Joey Ryan saw it, then did it in Japan, and then it blew up on the internet. Like it went viral. So much so that Joey Ryan got porn company to give him money. I forget which one, Vivid or something.
Yeah,
gave him money, and now he's their guy. Oh, he doesn't do porn, but
it was really big for him. Like that whole thing.
Oh, it was huge.
It went huge.
Like I said, it went viral.
And this was Eddie's thing.
So it was Eddie's move, and Joey Ryan made it famous. What are you gonna do?
So what happened when they met again? Did Eddie's original cock overpower Joey's?
I think they just wrestled like last week in Montreal or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You didn't hear about that? I don't know. I saw something about it, but I wasn't there.
Yeah, they've wrestled before. I know they've wrestled in Ottawa, and I think that's where Joey Ryan got the move, is from wrestling Eddie, right? Not just watching him. Yeah, they've tangled a few times. They really are, both of them, the kings of dong style, you know, or of schlong style, whatever you want.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Either way works for me. I like that one. So Cody Rhodes, we were talking about. I don't know where he's going. Like, I don't know what's happening for him at this next show. Should he wrestle like Rey Mysterio? You want to see that? I know Rey is going to be on the card.
Oh, yeah?
Rey Mysterio is supposed to be at Dominion, which, think about it, if you're a wrestling fan, you get Kenny Omega and Okada. You get Chris Jericho against Naito. You get Rey Mysterio against somebody. I mean, that's good to start with. Not to mention the Young Bucks are challenging Sonata and Evil for the tag team titles.
Okay, they're not defending the
six-man belts.
Six-man belts?
No, I don't think so. Which they just won, which was a pretty good match too.
Yeah, I was surprised that they won it so clean off the Tongans there, because the Tongans are tough motherfuckers.
Yeah,
and they beat them out clean.
Those are all Haku's kids, eh?
All of them,
yeah. Yeah, all three of them. Well, not Fale, not the big guy Fale.
Okay.
But there's another guy who's Haku's kid who's like 7 feet tall. Tonga Leo Tonga, he was at one point. He's not with them right now, but he's huge. And he's pretty green, like he's young and everything. But he's got a look. He's very tall. He's like 7 feet tall.
Okay. What's the big fat guy in that trio is called?
Bad Luck Fale.
Well, yeah.
He's not Haku's kids, but the other two, Tamatonga.
Yeah.
And,
but that guy Fale, I have a hard time with. I mean, I don't mind big guys, fat guys, but he looks just out of shape, man. He's like just big gut on him. I don't like him.
You don't like Fale?
I have to say, no, he just doesn't do it for me. He looks like a out of shape bouncer. I'm not into that.
He's a pretty big guy, though.
Yeah, he's a big guy, but out of shape bouncer. Like he needs to be in a 6-man tag, because one-on-one, I don't think he can handle it.
Would it surprise you that he's a trainer at the New Japan Dojo?
That would surprise me.
Well, he is.
He is. Yeah. Actually, I knew that somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, man. I think he used to be bigger. I think he's in the process of losing weight.
Losing weight, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think he's a little bit older and maybe towards the end of his wrestling career type of deal.
Yeah. Looks it.
But that match, the 6-man match, was fun because they had a good story to tell. They're friends, but they're wrestling each other, and it wasn't about like any kind of personal animosity. It was just, hey, we're going to have this wrestling match, which is not something you see very often.
And that type of match, the 6-man tag, that's the Young Bucks specialty, because I hate to use the term, but people call them like spot monkeys or something like that. And it just, because they have a lot of thrilling moves, and a 6-man tag is the perfect showcase for that type of thing, because you can have series of and a series of moves and big moves, and because there's so many people in the match, it can be like a whirlwind, and more importantly for the selling aspect, you can always have someone break the pin, so you don't have to be kicking out of these crazy moves all the time.
Yeah. But they are, I think, you said spot monkeys. I think they're way more than that.
Me too. Yeah.
Like, they are, I think, the best tag team in the world today.
Yeah, I mean, the way they construct their matches, the way they weave in their stories and their gimmicks into it, they're really fun to watch. I was very fortunate to see them here in Montreal and hang out with them. That's cool.
And they have a big show coming up in September, their all-in show that they're putting on themselves in a 10,000-seat arena that's sold out.
It's sold out, yeah.
It's sold out in like less than an hour.
It's them and Cody, no?
Yeah, it's the Bucks and Cody putting on this show. They got Okada for the show. They got Kenny Omega for the show. They got themselves, and I think they're going to add some more people. Marty Scurll, of course. All the Bullet Club guys are going to be there. But getting Okada there in Chicago, that's a rare sight for North American wrestling fans to see the IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah. Well, they've had a little bit recently with the New Japan Invasion there, the American shows.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see wrestlers go out really. I mean, they're already indie wrestlers, but now they're indie promoters too. You know, on the biggest indie scale you can, indie stage you can, pretty much.
It's unprecedented.
Yeah, it's cool.
It is pretty cool. And it's kind of like people were telling them that they couldn't do it, that they couldn't sell out a 10,000-seat arena, and then they said, oh, yeah? And then they did it.
Like, watch me.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm happy for them. I think it's pretty cool. And they're changing what you can do with wrestling. See what Chris Jericho's doing? His cruise?
His cruise? Oh, yeah, that's not new.
That's not new? Are people doing wrestling cruises?
Yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah, it's
with
cool.
the names that he's bringing, though? I mean, it's Chris Jericho.
Yeah, him. It's rock and wrestling him, too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be interesting. It's pretty pricey, though, but...
Yeah, I looked at the prices. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you can't.
Looks like fun, though.
Yeah, it looks good. A lot of cool people there. There should be some good matches and some good hanging out.
And I think with the Young Bucks and their all-in show, a big selling point is the possibility of CM Punk. And I think there's a real possibility he shows up at that show. Not to wrestle, not to have a match.
Not to wrestle, but I think
maybe to do a run-in, to save the Bucks or do something, and maybe to set up the next all-in show where he does wrestle a match. Because he's doing an autograph signing for them because they're making it a whole weekend thing. And if he's willing to do that, be involved in like a wrestling setting,
yeah,
I think it's possible that we see him wrestle again at one of these shows.
Yeah, well, I don't think he'll wrestle yet because he has another MMA fight.
Well, he's got a fight, but that's in June. Like he will have fought by the time All In even happens.
Well, when is All In?
September.
Oh, okay. Is that far, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was sooner than that.
Yeah, no, Punk is fighting next month in Chicago at UFC 225.
Huh.
The next UFC pay-per-view will feature CM Punk.
Cool. Are you excited for that?
Yeah. You're not? You don't care?
I don't care. I couldn't give a shit.
I want to see what he does.
Yeah. The last one was so pathetic. I mean,
yeah.
It was hard to watch. I felt bad, you know.
Yeah, I did too.
I don't like watching fights and feeling bad. I want to be entertained.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's like the freak show factor, man. I want to see what happens. And the guy he's fighting this time is not as good, nowhere near as good as the guy he fought the first time.
Okay.
They stiffed him a little bit the first time in there.
You think?
Yeah. They said, oh, yeah, you want to try this? Here you go. Here's this kid who really does this.
But
Try it against him.
He only had like one match before or something. He was like
but the kid was, I think he was a brown belt in jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
You take any brown belt and you put him in the octagon against a white belt like CM Punk with no striking experience or anything, he's going to get smashed. That's just how it works. That's how it works.
All right. Go CM Punk.
Yeah, well, you know, I wish him the best, but
he's the indie darling. Right?
What I'm saying is he's the indie darling, so he should stick with wrestling. Maybe he should go back, do some wrestling matches for the Young Bucks.
I think he will eventually. I can't see why he wouldn't. I mean,
yeah.
Because he's the type of guy, he always liked wrestling. You know, he might not have liked certain politics in WWE and stuff, but I know he always liked wrestling. So it's just a matter of time.
I feel like for some people, though, the WWE can kind of kill your love of wrestling. You go there, you work there for a while, and you're like, you know what? I hate wrestling now because they burn you out on it.
Seems it. But, I mean, he had a good run, you know. He was champ and stuff, and no one ever thought he would be, and there he was.
What do you think about this Naito and Jericho match? Jericho lost his first match in New Japan to Kenny Omega. He's wrestling Naito. It's for Naito's newly won title. Does Jericho win a title here? Like, does he have to win this match to remain credible for a potential third match in New Japan, or whatever, he can just lose again?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, brother. It's rare that it's rare for someone to make it such a big debut and be so over, and would lose twice in a row. I'd be surprised, but then I wouldn't be because I don't think he wants to be tied down to a belt and stuff. He wants to. He's like he's we talked about CM Punk being the indie darling. Chris Jericho's the non-indie darling in the sense that he can do whatever the fuck he wants, and so if he has a belt, he's kind of tied to something, Whereas without the belt, he could do whatever the hell he wants, And I think he likes that. So I would say Okada probably retains,
but maybe Naito you're talking about.
Sorry, Naito retains. Yeah.
But maybe with the belt, he could still do whatever he wants. Like, how cool would it be if the IWGP Intercontinental Champion showed up on a random Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, it would be neat. I don't think Vince would be down for that.
Well, maybe you don't announce him as that. Maybe you don't have the championship on him, but people would still know, hey, that guy's a champion in another promotion.
Yeah.
Maybe you make a subtle reference to it. They like doing that.
Yeah, would be cool.
I don't know. I'm not sure about this match. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch because Naito's one of the best performers in the world, and Jericho's one of the best guys ever, and this is their first match. So how can you not be excited about this?
Yeah, totes my goats, man.
Okay, what do you think about Will Ospreay and Kushida? Is Ospreay doing too much?
His work rate is very hard. That's for sure. But that's New Japan Wrestling. I mean, it's hard on your body, and he plays it up. I mean, it's hard on his body, but he sells it as such. He's always his neck has been hurt forever. In real life and in wrestling world. Yeah,
which if your neck is really that hurt, should you be doing all that?
Well,
really,
it's obviously his neck isn't as hurt as he lets on. Obviously, that's wrestling. He's selling it constantly. Which is cool.
No, but his neck is hurt though.
Yeah. I mean,
he's not 100%.
No,
and he's very young. So I wonder, how much longer can this go on?
Right now, it doesn't look like his career is going to be long, but at the same time, it's super entertaining, and
I saw Dave Meltzer said he was going to wind up being the Dynamite Kid.
Yeah,
which is kind of wow, that's grim. That's a grim outlook.
But I mean,
that's the one guy you don't want to wind up like.
But the unfair thing about that is, even though there was a lot of compound injuries in someone like Dynamite Kid, it was still one incident is what really did it, And with Ospreay, right now he hasn't had that one thing that really does him in, but he does a hell of a lot. High work rate. But like I said, that is the New Japan style. They do 3 or 4 of the finishers, and they all kick out of it. Which is funny. I was noticing that the other day. It's happened more. WWE pay-per-views are very much they're getting to that New Japan style in the sense that if you go back 10, 15 years or prior, if you hit a finish, that was it. You were finished.
Yeah.
Now, in a WWE main event, you'll hit 3 or 4, maybe not 4, but even sometimes, yes, 3 or 4, So people are kicking out of the finishers all the time now, which never happened before.
And also, I'm seeing more in WWE that a match doesn't end unless somebody hits their finish. Which is kind of like, what do I care about any of these moves, any of these false finishes? Yeah, I know Roman Reigns isn't going to win here. He just hit him with a Superman punch. He didn't hit the spear. Why are you counting 2? I don't care. Can we move on to the next sequence here?
Yeah, and again, that's where New Japan has that realism factor because a match can end on a clothesline. A match can end on any number of moves, which I find it adds that realism to it. But WWE is always been like that. Hogan never won a match besides with the leg drop. I mean, that's the way it was.
Yeah.
Everyone, that's how they finish is with their finisher. Where in Japan you can have multi finishers, which again adds to the realism of it. Because in a real fight, you do whatever to win.
That's it.
And with that realism, you can have those falsies, the real false finishes of 1-2. Whereas in WWE, if someone gets a clothesline, and he's kicking out of it. Like it's not even a falsie.
It's not even a question.
It's a game. The two.
Yeah.
But so you have to have that to have a real false finish, or you have to have a finisher. Whereas in Japan, it's not necessarily like that, which is cool.
And Kazuchika Okada and Kenny Omega here at the next card. They're having a no time limit best 2 out of 3 falls match for the IWGP Heavyweight title. This card going down June 9th. How long do you think Okada and Omega will go? Over an hour, right?
It's going to be over an hour, yeah. And
could they do 2 hours? Is that possible?
Would
people be able to sit through that?
I don't know. I would say, yeah. It's New Japan. You'd be surprised. I mean, New Japan marks out for like headlocks. You'll hear people, That's what I liked about the what was it, the Tanahashi Okada match.
Yeah,
there was a headlock sequence in there, and the crowd popped for it, which is really cool. Where they're getting in, they were getting in and out of the headlock and like wrenching it more, and the crowd was popping for it.
They have real baby faces over there. Like they know how to make a baby face still. North America, it's like a real struggle. You kind of have to be a jerk to be a babyface here. But in Japan, like Tanahashi, he's such a good guy, babyface, and it works still so well. And it helps to tell the story.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He's awesome. And now I don't know where he goes from here.
Yeah, he's
maybe he wrestles Cody at Dominion.
He's a real fan favorite for sure. He's a huge fan favorite. So even though he lost, he's coming back, and yeah, maybe Cody would be a good opponent for him. But I don't think they want to put them, because they want Cody to get back on his winning track, and they want Tanahashi to get back on his winning track as well.
Do they though? I don't know, man. I think
so.
They could sacrifice Tanahashi for Cody right now.
Yeah.
It would make sense. It would make, like, Tanahashi's kind of like, oh, I'm old, and I don't know if I can win anymore, and I'm trying to get it, but I don't know. And if he loses again, it just adds to that gimmick.
Yeah.
I think they're phasing out Tanahashi.
You think,
I mean, yeah, just based on the angle that they have him in, and based on the way he lost to Okada, it just seems like they made it obvious now. It's Okada's company. Tanahashi is not the ace anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, Tanahashi is still super loved. He's such a baby face. You see the young women cry and stuff.
Yeah, but a lot of guys are still loved and still over. Like Jushin Thunder Liger's still over, but he's not the main event. Light heavyweight. So Ospreay, we still don't have an opponent for him for Dominion. Rey Mysterio either. Any idea? Like, who would you like to see Rey wrestle?
That right there would be, I think,
yeah,
something they'd be working towards.
Mm-hmm.
They could do some really, really cool stuff. I know Rey would enjoy it for sure, and that would make sense actually for them to square off against each other.
Yeah,
but Rey won't go down. I don't on a 1-on-1 against Ospreay. He won't get pinned. He won't want it.
Not for his first match in New Japan.
Yeah,
I don't think that makes sense. I think Rey and Marty Scurll would be a lot of fun. I'd like to see that happening. And as for Ospreay, we have these New Japan Super Juniors tournament going on. The best of the Super Juniors. So you have all these matches going on, and then maybe at some point we'll figure out an opponent for Ospreay when we see these matches play out. These things start, May 19th? May 18th is when the best of the Super Juniors. So later this week, there's like a whole Super Juniors tournament going on that's going to last for like a week or so. And then the next big card, like we said, is Dominion. So we'll recap that on the next podcast.
I'm excited for Dominion.
Dominion is going to be good. This Dontaku stuff was hard to follow, like I said. There's 2 nights of Dontaku, but then there was the Road to Dontaku and the Kuni. I don't even know. A lot of different shows. But yeah, I think Dominion's going to be great. Okada and Omega. Do you think Omega takes the title from Okada? I don't.
I don't think so either.
Okada seems like he's going to be champion forever.
Yeah, and Omega's been on a high note, winning for a while, so there's nothing to lose with him losing. I think Okada's safely the champ for a while.
Yeah, and that's it. Plug your stuff. Where can people reach you? How can people find you? And so on.
Green Phantom? Is that what you're saying?
Whatever you want to plug.
Plugging. Well, I'm according to Cult Montreal, I'm the number one wrestler in Montreal. So, hey, shout out to Cult Montreal.
My God. And Johnny North wasn't even on the list.
Oh, yeah?
He wasn't even top 10.
He didn't make the list.
What's that about?
Hey, you got to be in this business for a while. I guess he has. I don't know.
Who else was on that list?
People just like me. People just like me.
Man.
I still don't get it.
How many matches did you wrestle last year?
Last year, well,
like it's.
I think.
Because haven't you not been wrestling?
I think
one match, wrestler of the year.
Yeah, because I'm just such a good character.
Well, yeah, you're over.
Yeah, I'm over. Yeah, I mean, these days I've been doing a lot of stuff actually. Interviews and these stupid podcasts like this stuff. Actually, with IWS, I've been having various roles, making my RDS2 debut there. This Sunday coming up on RDS2, I'll be I do a guest referee spot.
Okay,
which is kind of cool. And this IWS next month or this month, May 26th, I'll have some role as well. And more exciting than that, I think, June 6th, I'll be opening up for Ken Shamrock.
What?
So Ken Shamrock is coming to town doing a kind of speaking tour, kind of like Jake the Snake or Ted DiBiase, and Green Phantom is the opening act. Come see some comedy at Club Piranha or Piranha Bar.
Is Shamrock doing comedy?
Well, he does. Yeah, he says like road stories and stuff. So some of it is supposed to be funny. I know it's not like a punchline thing. But yeah, it should be interesting. I'm curious to meet him and see him.
Well, that's cool. So when's that? June 6th at the Piranha Bar.
Yeah, June 6th Piranha Bar.
That's in the same building as BTT, right?
BTT?
That's just downstairs from BTT.
What's
Brazilian Top Team? No?
I don't even know what that is.
My goodness.
Oh, is that a dojo or like a gym? I know there's a gym upstairs, yeah.
Yeah, it's a jiu-jitsu school.
Okay, yeah.
My friend Anthony is a brown belt over there. He's pretty excited about Ken Shamrock.
Okay. So
maybe you can get Anthony some tickets.
Hey.
Can you hook Anthony up? Anthony's another guy from the podcast network here.
Oh, yeah?
We were on YouTube on right after UFC 224 this past Saturday.
Okay, well, Anthony, hit me up and see what I can do.
Well, there you go. All right, so follow him at what is it? The Green Phantom 514?
Yeah, Green Phantom 514 on Instagram, Green Phantom on Facebook, and go fuck yourself. Thanks.
What about Twitter?
Green Phantom 514, I believe, also.
All right, and you know me, Dave Simon MMA on Twitter and WrestlingUncensored.net for everything. This will be up on YouTube and all the channels. Okay.
Have a good night.
All right then.
Go with Green.
You don't know when people are listening to this.